All right, today we're diving into one of the most important partnerships shaping Asia right now, the relationship between India and ASEAN. And look, this isn't just about trade deals or handshakes, it's really a story of how two giants are working together to basically steer the future of the entire Indo-Pacific. So, let's jump right in.
First things first, let's just get a sense of the sheer scale we're talking about here. When we say ASEAN, we're talking about a group of nations with a combined population of over 600 million people. Now, think about that for a second. That's almost double the population of the entire United States. This isn't just some abstract number. It represents a massive, super dynamic, and youthful market that's a global force all on its own.
But it's not just about the number of people, right? You have to look at where ASEAN is on a map. It's sitting right at the crossroads of the world's most critical shipping lanes. It is a buzzing economic hub, a real nexus of manufacturing, tech, and just incredible growth. This mix of geography and economic firepower makes it a player you simply cannot ignore on the world stage.
So what exactly is this organization, ASEAN, that holds such a critical spot in the world? Okay, so ASEAN, which stands for the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, was born way back in 1967. The founding countries, Indonesia, Malaysia, the Philippines, Singapore, and Thailand, had a pretty clear mission: boost economic growth and, crucially, secure peace in a region that was being torn apart by Cold War politics. Since then, it's grown to include pretty much all of Southeast Asia, becoming a really powerful bloc. Now, let's bring India into the picture. Because for New Delhi, this partnership isn't just, nice to have. It is a fundamental cornerstone of its entire foreign policy in this part of the world. And this is where the story gets really fascinating.
This quote right here, it perfectly sums up the whole relationship. India's Act East policy was a huge strategic shift from its old Look East idea. It's about moving from being a passive observer to an active strategic partner. And ASEAN isn't just a piece of that puzzle. It's the central pillar holding the entire strategy up.
So, why a pillar? Well, first, just look at a map. ASEAN is the geographic heart of the Indo-Pacific, connecting the Indian and Pacific. It's a vital gateway for India. Second, in a region where China's influence is just immense, a strong, deep partnership with the ASEAN countries provides a really important strategic balance. And, of course, the economic opportunity is absolutely enormous.
Okay, so we've covered the why, but what does this partnership actually look like on the ground? How does it move from just talking in meetings to making real deals? Let's take a look. This relationship didn't just pop up overnight. It's been built, step by step, over decades. It kicked off in 1992 with just a basic dialogue partnership, and eventually grew into a full-blown free trade agreement by 2010. But the moment that really showed the world the depth of this friendship, that was in 2018, when all 10 ASEAN leaders were the chief guests at India's Republic Day parade. That is a powerful, totally unprecedented diplomatic statement. And all of that diplomatic effort has had a huge economic impact. In the 2022-23 period alone, trade between India and ASEAN hit a staggering $131 billion. That figure just goes to show you how deeply intertwined their economies have really become. And this partnership goes way beyond just buying and selling goods. India is a contributor across so many different areas. You've got joint naval exercises for security. In tech, India is helping set up IT training centers. It's offering university scholarships to build skills, and even providing critical support for disaster relief. The main takeaway here is that this is a broad, comprehensive relationship.
But look, it's not all smooth sailing. The relationship definitely has its challenges. And one of the biggest economic friction points is this trade imbalance. For years now, ASEAN countries have exported a lot more to India than India has exported to them, and that's created some real concern within key industries in India.
And that trade imbalance is really just one piece of a much bigger, more complicated puzzle. Let's dig into some of the other hurdles this partnership has to navigate.
So, a core challenge comes down to slightly different priorities. Speaking broadly, ASEAN's main focus is on economic integration and trade. That's kind of in its DNA. India, on the other hand, while definitely focused on economics, also puts a really heavy emphasis on strategic balance and security across the Indo-Pacific. And sometimes, those different core motivations can cause a little bit of friction.
Beyond that, you've got other big hurdles. There are those persistent worries in India that the free trade agreement has just opened the floodgates to cheap imports. Some really key connectivity projects, like the big highway that's supposed to link India directly to Thailand, have been seriously delayed.
And we can't ignore the elephant in the room. China is still the dominant economic partner for almost every single ASEAN nation. Plus, the political instability in a place like Myanmar really complicates India's land bridge to the east.
So, with all these challenges in the mix, you have to ask, where does the partnership go from here? What's the game plan for the next decade of India-ASEAN relations?
Well, the future seems to be getting built around these new, absolutely critical sectors. Both sides are doubling down on collaboration in green energy, especially when it comes to things like building supply chains for electric vehicles. The digital economy is another huge one, focusing on AI and cybersecurity. And on top of that, beefing up maritime security and building resilient supply chains for crucial things like medicines and semiconductors, those are top priorities for everyone involved.
Which brings us to the big final question, doesn't it? The Indo-Pacific is a region of giants. You've got China, the US, and of course India itself. In this complex, crowded, and competitive arena, can this steady, collaborative partnership between India and ASEAN actually build a different kind of future? One that's more stable, prosperous, and balanced for everyone? That really is the central question as this incredibly important relationship continues to evolve.